All right. Somebody in the chat, let me know if anything is working. Let me know if you could hear me. Let me guess. He likes the under in the NBA. Yes, a couple games, not all of them, just a couple. Uh, okay, so it doesn't look like our V Live is working for us. Okay. Okay. All right. Good deal. All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Technical difficulties. See somebody in the chat, Ninja? Yes, I do like the under in two of the NBA games. I'm not sure what you guys have heard, but I will go back through it. I'm really trying to get to hockey here really fast. So, oh, thanks a lot, Major Ace. Okay, so we have the first two games I'm taking under. So I'm taking the Bulls and the 76ers under, and I'm also taking the under in what game was that? The Thunder and the Bucks. Like I said, the Bucks played a game yesterday, and even though they've gone over this total a few times in the last 5 games, the Thunder haven't. The Thunder are the team that are playing more towards the under, and they've already played each other before a week ago. All right. So that's the first two unders. Now, the next game, the next NBA game, the final NBA game that I'm looking at is going to be the Phoenix Suns at the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, the Pelicans are one of those teams that just go over. There's only one way to bet the Pelicans, and I think that you have to go with the over. Phoenix, when I look at Phoenix, Phoenix has actually gone over this total, another 230 and a half, 4 out of the last 5 games they played. So with Phoenix going over this total, and New Orleans has gone over this total every game, and that's by an enormous amount, 250, 257. New Orleans, 273 with the Dallas Mavericks. This is just a high-scoring team, New Orleans. They don't play any defense. Teams that play against New Orleans are all shooting over 50%, except for one, they were shooting 47%. So New Orleans, one of those teams, like I said, seeing these high totals in the NBA, you want to take the over in the New Orleans game. So I'm also going to take that game over as well. All right, now let's get to hockey. Let's talk some NHL. We have 3 games on the slate tonight, 3 NHL games. Let's see here. And the first game I want to get to is the Chicago Blackhawks are playing the Carolina Hurricanes. And the Chicago Blackhawks are actually one of the hottest teams in the NHL right now. They're winners of 3 in a row. They've won 3 out of their last 4, 5 out of their last 6. And they've beaten the Hurricanes once. Okay, they've split with the Hurricanes. So they split with the Hurricanes earlier. So this is sort of like a rematch. You have Chicago at Carolina. And I absolutely love the Blackhawks here. They're going to have Kevin Lankinen, the goalie, in tonight. So that's good for Chicago. And I actually took them as one of my plays today, plus the 1.5. Chicago, they're cover darlings, okay? I see you, Ninja, with your Hurricanes. They're cover darlings. Chicago, if you could get Chicago plus 1.5 this year, you're making money. Nobody expected this team to be this good. I'm starting to see the money move on Chicago. Plus the 1.5 was originally at 135. Now it's all the way up to 160, minus 160 for that plus 1.5. But Chicago hasn't lost a game by 2 since, I don't know, what was the last time they what game was that? Yeah, they haven't lost the game by more than a goal since the Panthers, January 17th. That was the last time the Chicago Blackhawks lost a game by more than a goal. And I want to say Lankinen became the goalie. Lankinen became the goalie shortly after that, and they've just been lights out ever since. Lance says you're leaning on the over. Yeah, I'd lean that way too as well. I was looking at the total on this game. Chicago, like I said, very good goaltending. They're playing a lot better than people expected, but Carolina will get you into that shootout mode. And they played each other twice already, and we had a 4-3 and a 6-4 score in both those games. So yeah, I like that over, Lance. I definitely like that over in the Chicago game. And the Hawks plus 1.5. Yeah, if you can get it at a good price, I want to take them on the money line because I do think that they're going to win, and they're streaking. You know me in riding the streak. If you have a team 3 games or better, you kind of want to jump on and tail them and make some money with them until the wheels fall off. So this is a way that you could take the 1.5, get the insurance there just in case the game goes into OT. And go ahead and ride the Blackhawks till the wheels fall off. I definitely love that pick. And the next NHL game that I have, look, Laterica, I'm back. And the next NHL game that I have is the Battle of Alberta. I don't know if we have any Canadians in the chat room, but we have the Edmonton Oilers and the Calgary Flames playing each other once again. And this is the Battle of Alberta, Edmonton, Alberta versus Calgary, Alberta. These teams do not like each other. There's a lot of bad blood. There's a lot of history. And this is Hockey Night in Canada on a Friday. And we have a big game. We have a big game with Edmonton and Calgary. And when these two teams meet up, first thing that comes to my head is take the over. I've been taking the over on this game for at least 3 or 4 years now. They're just usually high-scoring games. It's been hit and miss after a while. I've been getting a little, a few of them that go over, and then I have the 1-0 games and the 2-0 games. So they have kind of tailed things back a little bit. But over the last 5 games, 4 of them have gone over this total. And you see the total of 6.5. We have a backup goaltender in net for the Calgary Flames, and you have 3 defensemen that are going to be out of this game for the Edmonton Oilers. So when you combine those two stats right there, this game screams over. And then it's another one of those 6.5. So it's one of the higher totals. The only total I see higher is a 7, and we haven't seen one of those yet this year. So definitely I love this game over. This is like my favorite rivalry in the NHL. I really like to see these teams go at it because you're going to get both teams' best effort. And like I said, with what Edmonton's kind of coming into this game with, and what Calgary's coming into this game with, it just seems more of a total going over the total than picking a side. I was puzzled why Calgary was even favored in this game. I didn't get it. They have their backup in, and I really don't like Rittich at all. He's definitely not my guy, but I get that Edmonton's missing some players, and I want to say that I heard that there was a player that's on the taxi squad right now for Edmonton that was actually one of the starters on the top line. So we have a lot of questions with this lineup with Edmonton tonight, and that's probably why you have Calgary being the favorite. But I like Edmonton this game. I like the over in this game. I think the over is the best play to go with. All right, let me look at some of these questions. Edmonton plus 102. Yeah, it's money. It's the money line. It's a short dog, but I still think it's a dog that has a lot of value. And this is probably going to be one of those games, I'll tell you right now, that you're going to want to in play. So you're going to want to really watch this game because you could probably get on both sides and get better value than that plus 102 with Edmonton if they go down. That's what we're hoping for. All right. I love the Panthers, Laterica. Oh, no, that's Chanel L. Sorry. I love the Panthers today. Yeah, Detroit is just not a good team. Detroit doesn't put enough goals on the board. They can't keep up with most teams, and Florida's playing at a high level right now. Florida's rolling. They took 2 out of 3 from Tampa, and Tampa's the reigning Stanley Cup champion, and Florida made it look like they didn't have a problem with them at all. And Tampa has owned Florida, so we're kind of seeing a changing of the guard here in the state of Florida, where the Tampa Bay Lightning have kind of been the thing for so many years, but here come the Panthers trying to show that they're definitely a team to be reckoned with. All right. Yeah, so I definitely like that Panthers picture now. I'd even lay the puck line, to tell you the truth. I don't think Detroit's going to be able to keep this game close. They've already played each other to start the season. I know this is a little later on, but it looks like Detroit's going in the completely opposite direction. What they showed me against Chicago was just I think I've seen enough from the Detroit Red Wings. Well, there you go, Panthers. There you go, Lance. Lay the puck line. Lay the puck line. And I see we're having questions about the Utah Jazz. Second game against the Clippers. I'm staying off this game, to tell you the truth. I was on them the game before, back-to-back against a quality team like LA. I know the Jazz are hot, and I don't like to stand in front of a train when it's going. But I'm not playing this game at all. I think I'll sit back and watch this one. You can call me chicken. Just not gonna play it, because this might be the night. This might be the night that it doesn't happen, because they are playing a back-to-back. But Yeah, if you do feel the need to play this game, I would definitely tell you to ride the streak. Don't try to be the streak buster. But in the NBA, you have things like point spread, so it's not even so much that Utah has to lose. Utah can still win the game, but will they cover? I think they will. They destroyed the Clippers the last game. Yeah, you can't fade the Jazz. I definitely agree. I'm just gonna watch the game, Laterica. I'm not gonna fade them. I'm gonna sit back and watch and see what comes about from all this, because maybe they stay hot and they stay rolling. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, play them till they lose. I agree, definitely. This is just not the game that I'm gonna play them. Like if they were playing the Bulls or somebody like that, I definitely play them. But I don't know. I haven't seen them. I haven't seen a spot where Utah has a weakness yet. Like, who's that team? Who's that team that's going to give them matchup problems, that are going to give them problems? So yeah, that's how I feel about that Utah team. You only bet them one way right now. You either ride them or you sit back and watch the game, like I'm going to do tonight. Okay, let me see. Florida and Detroit under 5.5 is the play. Yeah, Detroit is a dead under team. You got to wonder, is Florida going to be able to put up enough points to get, or will they put up enough points to keep this game under? Will it be like a 4-1 game? The NHL games have been going under all week, though. I will say that. Like yesterday, there were 10 NHL games, 9 of them went under. So, if you're looking for an under to play here in the NHL, that Detroit game is definitely a good one. And I want to say that Bobrovsky is going to be in net for Florida, so you have their number one goaltender, so Detroit's not getting a break there, So yeah, I definitely I've been loving unders in hockey all week. It's been a beautiful thing. It hasn't even come close. But there is that one game that I like today. That one game that I like today to go over. All right, Kelvin, I'm looking at the Cavs. I usually bet the Cavs. I don't know if you've been hearing about the whole Drummond situation. Maybe they're waiting for that whole thing to pass off because they're not starting him. But the Cavs have been getting 9. I want to say like the last few games, and they've just been getting blown out. It's kind of hard for me to jump on this Cavs team because I have taken them plus the 9 a few times and just been smoked with them. So I can't jump on them right now. Let's see if they win a game. Let's see if things clear once they figure out what they're doing with this Drummond situation. If they're gonna trade him, if they're gonna try to just release him. I hear Blake Griffin is supposed to be getting cut if he hasn't gotten cut already and released. So there's a lot of things that the NBA is just really shady this year with how they're going about doing things to the better. You don't know who's playing half the time. Everybody seems to be a game time decision. Coaches are making decisions, resting star players, things like that makes it difficult for you to pick a side. It's just the way it is. Yep. Cleveland is 0-11. Yep, against the spread. Yeah, I stopped betting Cleveland. I want to say after that Nets game, after they won those 2 against the Brooklyn Nets. Yeah, Cleveland hasn't really they haven't really done much. They haven't really shown me anything. They look like a bad team. They look like a team that's probably in rebuilding mode. So yeah, I definitely can't say. And the 9 looks nice. Don't get me wrong. You see 9 points, you're like, okay, yeah, I can get that. Don't lose the game by 10. But yeah, Cleveland is losing the game by 10 plus regularly. So yeah, that's kind of where I am there with that Cleveland pick. Oh, okay. So we have a backup in. Thank you. All right. I did not know that. We have a backup in goal for Florida. Yeah, I still like Florida. I still like Florida there. I would need to see Florida playing without a goalie for me to bet Detroit tonight. If Florida is playing empty net, then maybe I lean towards Detroit. But Detroit just they have too many problems putting the puck in the net, and I just can't see them making this game a competitive game, even with the backup goaltender, because I have a feeling that Florida is gonna put some points up on these boys tonight. So, well, thank you for that information, Tamala Richardson. Okay, what else do we have in the chat? Let's see, Cody, you have the Bucks and the Suns. All right. Bucks can't lose again. They can't, huh? Just won't happen? All right. I'll be doing the show again tomorrow. Let's see how true that statement is. I laid off the Bucks game, but let's see how true that statement is that they can't lose again. Oh, okay. Earl Sports. He says he kind of likes. Let me see. Kind of likes. Ah, that's how you do it. I kind of like Detroit money line or the puck line. Do you have a reason behind that? Is it the backup goaltending, Earl, or is there something that you're seeing in that game that makes you like Detroit? Or maybe you're just dog hunting today. There are days that I do that. There are days that I just look straight money lines. I look at the dogs and I see, is this dog going to be able to hunt? Are they going to be able to come in for me? Okay. Got a question here about the Celtics and the Hawks. Haven't really looked at that game. Like I said, these NBA games, it's like the first thing you want to do is just jump on the over. Just take the over on the NBA. But we have been having some. Actually, I wrote it down with a lot of the big totals that we've been having this week, like the 230s. All the 230s have gone over this week, except for yesterday. We had a 235 and a 232, and they both went under. And then they came back today with three of the 230s, and I took two of them under and one of them over. But if I'm going to look at this, let me see, what game are we talking about? Yeah, the Celtics and the Hawks, 225 and a half. That's actually ticked up a little bit since the opening lines. And that's why I like to do the show a little later, because I do like to see where the money's kind of moving, to kind of let you guys know, hey, these are what the opening lines are. This is how it's kind of ticked up. For those of you that do follow lines, like I'm a line follower, I do like to see the trends and try to hunt for the best number. But yeah, I see this game ticking up, and you're looking for a good effort from Boston here. Boston can put up points. Atlanta, another one of those teams that don't play any defense, a high scoring team, young team as well. You get these two together and you don't have that high a total. When you look at these totals, you see the 220s, like this one's 225. Yeah, I definitely think that could go over, because my first thing is going to be betting an NBA game over. It's almost like I have to find a reason to bet it under, because nobody's playing defense in this league. Not this season anyway. And we see it with these totals, and we see it with the results after the game, 250s, 270s. Like that was unheard of a couple years ago. Now it's, yeah, if I see a 200, I'm like, what happened? Who got hurt? Who didn't play? Okay. Any props that I like? Props for what, Abigail? NBA, NHL? Why don't you read me a couple props and I'll tell you, how I feel about them. Okay. Got over in the Bucks, over in the Suns. How do you bet based on? This is a very good question. All right. Like if the public is heavy, okay. All right, that's a good question, Laterica. It depends on the game and it depends on the team. I know ahead of time what number I'm looking for with certain teams. Like there's certain teams that I feel like they're overvalued, and then there's others that I feel that are undervalued. And if the line movements aren't always accurate. I've seen line movements where it's just a complete lie, and these are the things that I kind of record, and I have a book where I keep stats of, okay, yeah, that wasn't the line. That line moved. It didn't work out that way. The next time I see this, I'll know which way to go. That's pretty much how I look at the line movements. I don't always fade the public, because sometimes the public is right. It's not always one of those things like, oh yeah, there's too many people on this side, or, well, what if it's the right side? That's the way it is. I think it's more of a feeling, and it's more with your numbers, Laterica. Like if you keep track of this stuff, like it's very important to record this information. I can't tell you how much that will help you if you record the games after they're done. We do so much talking, like before the games, we have predictions, things like that. After the game as well, you want to kind of record and go back through your numbers and see, oh, okay, this is what's happening. And you'll notice that there's certain teams that don't cover certain spreads. There's certain teams that don't go over certain totals. But you have to kind of keep track of this. It's like, for example, the Milwaukee game today, not the Milwaukee game, the 76ers game. Well, in the last 5 games, the 76ers haven't covered an 8.5 point spread. And that's why, if I had to choose a side on that game, I would choose the dog with that game, because yeah, the 76ers aren't covering that right now. And until they do, I'm going to have to take the 8.5 points. And I look at the teams that they're playing, things like that. Yeah, but if you can't cover that spread, there's no way I'm going to lay the points with you. And that's with Joel Embiid, without Joel Embiid. You get the same results with them. Let me see. What do we have here? Let's see. Karl Anthony Towns over to, okay. All right. I got you. Let me see who they're playing. And I like this team. Like I've talked about this Minnesota team quite a bit. They're a young team. They have the number one pick. What Minnesota has is they have athletes, and with Karl Anthony Towns, kind of getting back in the mix and trying to get in the flow of the game. I don't know. That might, it seems awfully low, the 22. It seems awfully low, Abigail, and I haven't really been like tracking Karl Anthony Towns either to see what he's been doing. And when you look at this matchup that they have here, where am I? You say Karl Anthony Towns? Why don't I have that? There we go. The Wolves. Yeah, against the Raptors. Yeah, I could see it. The Raptors are another one of those teams that tend to be a high-scoring team as well. So yeah, when you have these teams that tend to go over and there's going to be some points scored in this game, yeah, I think that's a good prop bet. Very good prop bet. All right. Go Bucks. Hey, good luck with the Bucks. I mean, they need something. I hope they do pull it off. They looked very bad last night. That was a poor performance in the game last night. I will say this about the Bucks: in these games where they play back to back 3 times this season, they've scored less in the second game than they scored in the first. Now I don't know how true that's going to be tonight because I don't even think they got over 200 last night total. So yeah. The Bucks, it doesn't look better for the Bucks in the second game than the first game so far this season. By the totals every day. Laterica, it's all right. I'm telling you, these totals are these totals are crazy. And if you record like all the totals throughout the day, like I record the totals, I record the underdogs, the money line dogs. I love recording money line dogs to see who won outright, who didn't need the points at all. And once you start recording it, you'll see that it's really heavy to one side. Like with the totals, you'll see 2 totals that go under and 8 totals that go over. So it's really heavy to one side. And you'll have that with the dogs too. I've had days where every single dog has covered, or 6 out of the 10 games, money line dogs have come in. So it's just really important. I advise a lot of people to record a lot of this information because it will help you moving forward, trying to figure how you're gonna bet the next game or bet this team the next time around. Okay. Lance has a question. Minnesota, Toronto field goals over. Is this another one of those prop bets? Where are you guys getting these bets? What site are you guys betting on? What site are you guys betting on? Let me know. Minnesota, Toronto field goals over. Explain that one a little bit more to me, Lance. Yeah, just tap in the chat and let me know what exactly you're trying to say there. All right, this sounds like a Allie question. I'm actually going to text Allie. Should I take Utah? Oh no, Utah State money line. I actually didn't look at that game. Allie's the person I get like a lot of my college basketball information from. I'm not even going to lie to you. That's who I watch her show in the morning. That's how I know half of you here in the chat. So yeah, I definitely would ask Allie about that one. If you're talking about taking the money line dog, I'm all for taking the money line dog, especially this game. I know Allie was saying that she's not sold on Boise State, so I guess I could speak on her behalf here. Where if I would definitely take Utah State money line. Basically because Allie likes them, and I like a good dog too. I like a good dog. Let's see, what do we have here? Oh, the full game over. Yeah, full game. All right, I thought it was field goals over. All right, full game over. Toronto. Are the Wolves one of those teams? This line opened up at 227. And it's already down to 225. Probably doesn't mean anything, but Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure about the like I said, the Wolves are a good young team, and I could see them putting up some points here, like as far as the Karl Anthony Towns uh, prop bet that was. Yeah, I'm not sure about that over, especially with the line ticking down like that. I don't know. I think you could find some better overs than that on the board. A lot of times when you want to bet overs, you want to bet the teams that you know that are going to get you there. Like I said earlier, the Dallases, the New Orleans. These are teams that you feel pretty good knowing that you have them on your ticket to go over, because they're not going to play any defense and they will put up some points. So as far as looking for a good over, I would look for a combination of teams that do that as well. And it might be here with Toronto. Like I said, I'm not saying that Toronto's a good defensive team. I'm not saying Minnesota is. Or that 225.5 is a hard number for them to climb over. Just me personally, I would look for another team or another set of teams. Like my thing would have been the Pelicans and the Suns. That's why that was one of my over picks of the day, because the Pelicans just they're like Dallas. This team just lets you score whatever. Just lets you score whatever. I missed your question. Let me go back up here, GTS. Do you ever bet on? Here we go. Do you ever bet on those really? All the time. I promise you. This is why Ali wants us to do a round robin in play show all the time. I bet on plus 500. Plus, I actually had OKC that game against Milwaukee plus 650, and I put it in a round robin and it cashed out. We'll do round robins. I don't know when she wants to do the show. We will do round robins. People, I will tell you right now, the value is on the board every day. Every day you have these dogs. I always say the dogs are barking. You have these dogs that win outright. Don't be afraid of the plus 500. Don't be afraid of the plus 350. They cash every day. And you will know that if you start recording. Once you start recording this information and you see what's coming in and what's not coming in, it gives you a little more confidence next time you see a plus 450. Like, you know what? I've seen plus 450 cash twice this week. Why not take a shot? And it lets you look at the team a little differently too. You see a high number and you think, they're the underdog. They're not supposed to win. They have no chance of winning. But every day I see these dogs and I look for them. I look for them all the time. You're welcome, GTS Club. Go get it. All right. Thank you, Lance. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining the show. Like I said, I'm trying to do this more often. I'm trying to make it a weekend thing, Friday through Sunday. I definitely want to do to make it more NHL, but I will field any questions. NBA. Let me see. Earl, I cash plus 200 in NCAA all the time. Yeah. Oh, and I have my favorites too. I have plus 200. 200 plus 420 is one of my favorite dog numbers all the time. So definitely take a shot. Take a shot with them on the in play. As you know, when you do take a shot with them on the in play, you also want to take the points as well, just in case they don't come back. But yeah, plus 200. If you could get 2-1, you're good. When you sit there and think about it, 2-1, whatever you're putting up, you're going to get double back. Yeah, it's a great bet. So don't be afraid of the dogs. All right, guys, they cash every day. And once you start recording this information at the end of every night, record who what the scores were, and then just make little notes like, okay, this game went over, or that game went under, or I have a whole binder full of underdogs that won outright. I really want to know who the money line dogs are, not the teams that are just covering the points, who's winning outright. Because if I know that these teams, like years ago, the Chicago Bulls were one of my favorite teams to bet on the money line, like absolute favorite, because they were always plus 450, or they were always plus 300 or plus 500. I never took the points. I took them on the money line. They showed me enough that season that this is a dog that will hunt. This is a dog that will, get the money. This is a dog that'll get the bag. That's it. All right. Good night, Munchie. How you doing? Good luck to everybody today. All right. I'm going to do a quick rundown. I started a little later than I wanted to today. Tomorrow it'll probably be more 1 p.m. Pacific time, 1:30. But I like to get like I said, I like to get the numbers. I like to see the lines move, and I like to see if anything's moving in a way that it's going to make me change my mind. Like, oh, okay, now I definitely don't like that game. I liked it at this number, but once they moved it down, it just got ridiculous. Best bet, it's going to be the Battle of Alberta, Ninja, taking the over. Well, taking the over in the Battle of Alberta. Like I said, we have a backup goalie in there for Calgary, and we're missing 3 defensemen for the Edmonton Oilers in this game. So I think that definitely will go over. After that win that Vancouver had, it's like this team was good last season. They just haven't been playing well to start the season. But I want to say that they're starting to gain a little momentum. They took, I think they split 2-2 with who they play Calgary when they played Calgary a couple games ago, or the last 4 games they played against Calgary. They split. Looking at Winnipeg here, I didn't look at this game. I didn't love this game. So looking at Winnipeg here, I'm just gonna do a real quick look at the Winnipeg Jets, see what they've been up to. Winnipeg's another one of those teams that a few years ago they were like a real bright spot. Everybody was expecting Winnipeg to contend for a Stanley Cup championship, and then the Vegas Knights came, kind of ruined that, and they've just been middle of the pack ever since. So Winnipeg, they're a decent team. You look at their record and you look at what they've done this year. They split with Edmonton. The Senators, they split with the Senators. Against Calgary, they split with Calgary. Winnipeg's just average, but you have 2 average teams here. I don't have a pick for that game. I really don't. I don't have a side. I'm sorry. I wish I could have given you something better than that. Let me see if you could. That might be a game are you guys able to in play? Because a lot of times if I don't like something before the game, I would suggest good night, Munchie. You took the Jets. All right. If you don't like something before the game, I definitely would suggest in playing it once you get a chance to see the flow of the game, because sometimes that helps you out, and it also gives you a better number. Yeah, so this is a game that if I did play this game, I would definitely in play it. Ahead of time, before the game, I loved the over in the Calgary Flames game and the Battle of Alberta, and I loved the Chicago Blackhawks plus 1.5. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, not saying that the Jets are a bad pick, but the Jets are on the road, and like I said, they haven't shown any consistency. So they were on the road against the Oilers, and they won the first game, lost the second. Everything looks close with the Jets. There was a blowout against not Edmonton, Ottawa, but besides that, a blowout against Calgary. But everything with the Jets has been close. When they did play the one game against the Canucks earlier, I will say that the Canucks beat them 4-1. So that is something to look at. They played each other once, and the Canucks actually beat the Jets. And the Canucks beat the Jets when the Canucks were playing horribly. That was during that stretch where they were giving up so many goals. That was that one game against the Jets that kind of made their season what it was. But yeah, they were against the Canucks. That was that one game against the Jets that the Canucks were actually able to play a competitive game, because up until that time, that was around that Montreal time, when Montreal was beating the brakes off of the Canucks. And then they had the games with the Senators, and they snuck that one in. They snuck that win in against the Winnipeg Jets, and then went right back to getting throttled. So yeah, that might be one of those games where they just match up better, where Vancouver just matches up better with Winnipeg. So it's something to look at. Like I said, that game that's probably a in-play game. I'd take a look at that game in play. Under in Vancouver. It's amazing that we're able to say that now. The goaltending, eventually everything kind of catches up. You're not always going to have 7-goal games, and that's what I'm saying about the NBA. You're not always going to have high-scoring games, high-scoring totals like that. Eventually, law of averages, everything catches up, and you have these Canucks here after a terrible start where their goaltending was awful and their defense was bad. They didn't look like a team that was ready to start the season. But over the last few games, and yes, they weren't playing the greatest of teams, but you're starting to see a more competitive effort out of these Vancouver Canucks. That Calgary series was a big one for them because Calgary, not a great team, not a high-scoring team, but the Canucks were actually able to stay in with them every game. No games were blowouts, and the one blowout was Vancouver with a 5-1 win, but everything was 3-1 Calgary, 4-3 Calgary. So the Canucks have been playing some better hockey. They actually played some decent hockey against the Maple Leafs. The last game, I wouldn't say the first two games, the last game, but this is that time when they were just getting throttled by the Canadiens. Toronto came in and started to beat them down. And then finally, you started to see them kind of settle in here against Calgary, and we'll probably continue it against Winnipeg tonight, but we'll see what happens. As far as betting the Canucks game under, they have been going under. Depends on what the under is too. 6.5. They've gone under 6.5. What's that? 3 out of the last 4 games. They've gone under 6, 2 out of the last 4 games. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what you have. That's what you have there with the Canucks and the Winnipeg Jets going under. Let's see. Do you think 3/4 shows that? All right. What's this question you're asking? Do you think what? Yeah. My thing is, if you're going to parlay, less teams, more money. Less teams, more money. And then you got to remember, you're parlaying, so you're getting great odds. 6-1. That's a 3-teamer. $10 turns into 60. That kind of thing when you do the math there. And it's hard enough to pick one game, but when you're thinking about trying to pick 3, 4, 5, I would say start with 3. If you could get 2, and you could, I got a buddy that I talk to on the regular. And I call a 2-teamer because he likes to do parlays. It's like a free throw. Sometimes when you're not hitting parlays, you need to hit something simple, like a free throw. Like basketball players, when they can't hit their jumper, they get fouled. You go to the line, you hit a free throw, you see the ball go through the net. That gives you a little motivation. So yeah, that's how I look at it. Yeah, 3 to 4. I would start with 3 and see how you're doing it, because what you have to understand with parlays is that some people are better at them than others. And a lot of it has to do with putting the games together, knowing who to leave off. There's so many games and so many combinations. What I would do is like 1 college basketball, 1 NHL, 1 NBA. I try that first, like as far as a parlay. Let me see if I could hit 3. My best bet in these 3 sports will still get me 6-1 odds. Yeah, so definitely start with 3. Like I said, we'll talk about round robins more because there is so much value to be made. There's so much value on the board, and there's so much money that can be made between in-playing, round robins, parlays, teasers. We're just trying to look at every option possible, to cash some tickets here. Let me see. I hit a 9-game parlay once, and only once, way back in 2013. Congratulations. I like that. I like to hear that. I like to hear stuff like that. I call those bangers. I took a picture of a lady at the sports book that what she hit, like a 10-teamer for $3, paid her like $3,000, $4,000, something like that. And I'm like, hey, congratulations. That's a beautiful thing, because these things are like so hard. Yeah. 9-teamers. I've never hit a 9-teamer ever. Hit an 8-teamer, hit a few 8-teamers, but I don't even put those in anymore. But yeah, hitting a 9-teamer, that's all right. But 2-teamers, like I said, 2-teamers, 3-teamers, anything where you're going to get good value or good return on the money that you invest, yeah, I'm all for it. I say do it. All right, we have somebody that likes Orlando. Let me go back up to see who I missed. Oh, okay, we have the backup in. We have the backup in for him. Thank you. A lot of times when I look at the expected goal, it'll say expected, and that's earlier in the day, and that's when I have to turn in my picks, and I don't really go back until right before the game time. But that's probably a good thing I'll do for this show, where I could tell you, hey, this is the goaltender that's been confirmed for the game tonight. So we have a backup in Winnipeg, and I think somebody said they liked the over or the under in that game. So we're gonna have a backup in that Winnipeg game. So you might want to be careful with that under. But now I'm probably leaning more towards the Vancouver side, by Vancouver side. Yep, good night. Yep, I got Edmonton and the over. Yeah, I like it. I'm worried about the three defensemen. You know, in hockey, you have like defensive pairs. So anytime you have a defenseman out, it's there's a little line juggling that goes on. You're talking about three defensemen out. That's line juggling on the power play, on the penalty kill. Yeah, it's just a lot of line juggling throughout the night, and then you have to figure, well, who's available, who can they James Neal is the name of the player that is part of that taxi squad right now that they have in the NHL. So yeah, James Neal, that was the name I couldn't remember. So yeah, good thing to think about. Like I said, when you're betting these totals in the NHL, you want to see who the goalies are, the starting goalies, see who's out, who's playing. It makes such a difference because they have to adjust the lines because of it. So when you see what's going on in Dallas right now with Radulov being out. As soon as he went out, you saw a decline in their numbers. They weren't able to put up the points they were able to put up before. Okay. Oh, bro, do you got the Thunder? If I had to play that game, I would take the Thunder. Yeah, no doubt in my mind. I would take the Thunder. Definitely plus the 10.5. They've already played them. They've already beat them. Yeah, I would have no problem. They're coming off of a loss yesterday. Milwaukee is. Yeah, I'd have no problem taking them. And then they're sliding. Why not beat up on the Bucks now? Everybody else is. I don't. Yeah, give me 10.5 points. I'll take that. Okay, let me see. Florida Panthers are 0-10 in the last 10 games against the spread, and Detroit is 7-3 in the last 10 games. Okay, that's a very good stat there. I don't know how that. Oh wait, well, when you say against the spread, what do you mean? Like laying the 1.5? Because they covered the spread twice against they covered the spread twice against the Tampa Bay Lightning there. So I don't know how they would be 0-10 against the spread because they were actually getting points in those games and they ended up winning both of them. So yeah, I'd have to double check on that stat right there. Florida's rolling right now. I'm actually going to take a look at it to see what we're talking about, just to get some confirmation. Not trying to go against you or anything, but yeah, Florida's been blowing teams out. I don't know how they're 0-10 again, especially Detroit. Like Detroit's just a bad team. Let's see. But I'll definitely get back to that. Yeah, Red Wings against Florida. Look, Detroit scored. Let's see. They scored 2 goals so often. It's just like they scored 4 against the Predators, and okay, they did beat the Panthers 4-1. All right. Yeah, I could see it. Yeah, so the Panthers right here. So yeah, when you say 0-10 against the spread, you're basically talking about them as a favorite. And yeah, 3-2. Their last one was against Chicago. Yeah, they beat Chicago 5-2. So this isn't. Yeah, it doesn't look like a good spot for Florida. Me personally, until Detroit could show me something else, I'm definitely gonna still stay on the side of the Florida Panthers here. But that's a great stat. That's if that's what if you feel comfortable with Detroit, definitely that's something good to know, that you could take Detroit plus the 1.5 at least and cover the spread. Not to win the game, but at least cover the spread. Thanks, Danzo. That's a really good stat. Jazz are -5 tonight. I think you keep riding them. All right, you keep riding the Jazz. -5, and it's not like you're laying big numbers here with the it's not like you're laying big numbers here with the Jazz either. -5, they were -4.5. We see some of these spreads get us. How do you have a team that's this good in the NBA and you're not seeing anything double digits? It's probably because you're expecting, or the books are kind of expecting, the Jazz to falter at some point or come back down to earth. But I don't know. Like I said, the train's moving and I'm jumping on. I'm riding. I guess we're going to Utah or wherever they're playing at tonight. Yeah, I'm riding with the Jazz until the wheels fall off. All right, Danzo has another good one. 7-1 to the under, and I believe that Detroit they don't put up points, and even when they do win the game, like they put up 4 goals, it was like 4-1. Still got under that total. Yeah, so Detroit's unders are golden this year. I like the Pistons beating the Grizzlies. I think the Pistons, Craig Trapp calls the Pistons the best worst team in the NBA. Yeah, and I go. They say Detroit's supposed to be getting rid of Blake Griffin, so I don't know how that's going to affect the team, if that's going to be a big issue here. The line was Grizzlies -5. It's moved down to 4.5. I could see the Detroit with the points here. I like getting 5 with Detroit. They pushed for us the last game. They were getting 3 against the Chicago Bulls. They had the lead majority of the game, almost the entire game, and ended up losing it at the end. This game right here, I actually took the under with the Warriors the game before, prior to this one, and they went into overtime. That game was actually going to be a dead under. The Magic, dead under team. Warriors, dead under. Well, dead under for this game. I'll take a dead under because they were going under the last game that they played, but overtime took them over that total, and the total is almost exactly the same as the last game. 223 here. It was 222 the last game that I took it. Under, and they went into overtime. So yeah, I like that. Warriors and he said over. Yeah, under. If I had to bet that game, I would take that game under. Warriors and Magic. I mean, do you have a best pick on any sport? I've given out the over in the Battle of Alberta today. That's one that I feel really strongly about. I just think both teams are going to be able to put up points. The first time they played each other this season, the score was 6-4. So you have that there. Yeah, this is it. Blackhawks undefeated against the spread. Love them. I love Danzo. Yeah, I'm all over the Blackhawks. I love the Blackhawks. I want to take them on the money line. They've already beat this team. They're on a 3-game winning streak. Yeah, that +1.5, and it started early with the Blackhawks because they were dogs every game, and you got +1.5 at good value. And once they started winning these games, it was now you're getting the money line and the +1.5. Yeah, Danzo, love. They're cover darlings. That's what I'd call a cover darling. The Chicago Blackhawks this year. Let's see. Oilers need one more NHL pick. What you got? All right, I think you should take the over in the Battle of Alberta. Yeah, take that game over. Edmonton and Calgary. That should complete your 3-teamer there. I like to call that a natural hat trick, Jeremy Rhodes. A natural hat trick. Let's get those 3. Boom, boom, boom. Cash them. Oh, wait, you already got the over. Hold on. Oilers over. You need one more. My bad. I thought I gave you gold there. Hold on. One more NHL play. Does anybody in the chat have a good NHL play? Well, Danzo just gave us some great stats. So how about let's see. How about this, Jeremy? Under in Detroit. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Danzo, thank you. Jeremy, tell me what you think about it. Throw it on there. All right, guys. I am going to go over my plays real quick one more time, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow. It's just a quick 3-team totals parlay that I'm giving out on the NBA today. We have Phoenix at New Orleans, and all these games, like I said, these are all the 230 games, 230 and above, 231, something like that. And I've just kind of keyed these games. I've circled them. So I'm going to take the Thunder and the Bucks. I'm going to take the Thunder and the Bucks game under. And my reason behind that, Bucks played last night. These two played a few games before, and that game actually went under 223. And Milwaukee on back-to-backs. They've had back-to-backs 3 times this year, and they've scored less in the second game than the first game. Not saying that'll happen because they didn't score anything yesterday. I'd be shocked if they stayed under the second game here. But yeah, that's my play there. I'll definitely take the under in that game. 76ers and the Bulls, that's another one. I was looking at this 76ers and Bull game. I'm taking this game under as well. I believe the total there is 230. Let's see where it is now. This is the at 2:30 exactly. This is the 76ers second game back at home after that road trip. They landed right on the 231. They've landed on 231 quite a few times in the last 5 games. But on the other side, the Bulls are more of that team that's going to take it under. In the last 5, they've gone over twice and gone under 210 3 times. So that's going to, with 76ers kind of hovering around the 231 and the Bulls showing me that they could get me under 210. Yeah, I think I like taking that game. Let's see. I like taking that game under. And the last play I gave you was the Phoenix game. Phoenix is playing New Orleans. New Orleans is one of those teams, high-scoring team. That's what New Orleans is. Dallas is a team like that. These teams that don't play defense are going to try to run and gun you. Phoenix will play defense, but Phoenix will also get up and down the court as well. Because I look at the Phoenix Suns against Philly, Milwaukee, Cleveland. You got 232, 249, 231. 199 against Orlando, but right back up to 252 with the Brooklyn Nets. So if you want to play that style of ball, and believe me when I say that the New Orleans Pelicans do, Phoenix will play that style of ball with you. So I definitely like that game to go over as well. All right, I have another Detroit plus 1.5, Winnipeg, even money at Edmonton, 29. Chicago, 21 plus 170.